All right, guys, good morning, good afternoon, and happy Labor Day. It is Monday, the 4th of September, 2023. I'm going to make this really quick because honestly, again, a short week, only 4 days, and big news for this week, folks. I'm actually headed out of town, but that's okay. You're in great hands with Melissa. You guys all know that. I'll be leaving on Friday the 8th and not coming back until the 13th. So it's really not that big of a deal because Fridays are pretty quiet for us, and I only spend about an hour on the mic. But typically, Melissa will be around almost the entire day. And then we have Saturday and Sunday. And then again, I'm just gone until Wednesday. I'll be back Thursday morning on the 14th. So just wanted to go ahead and give you a heads up on that. Let's go ahead and get started. So we have our earnings for this week. Trip.com. They're saying Monday after close. That's interesting because we are off today. And then we have Tuesday. You can look at the names here, guys. Zscaler might be something you're interested in. And then it gets into, a lot of names that we all recognize, but not any that I particularly really care about. And then on Thursday, DocuSign, an old name here that may do something. We'll have our eyes on that. Then RH, I'm always interested because I think it's overvalued. And then on Friday, we have Kroger. Next thing we're going to be looking at is the watch, Market Watch. This is all free stuff that I access. Really, at the end of the day, this is the only information I need. I really don't want to pay for anything when it comes to this stuff because news is just a catalyst that pushes price into our trendy edges or supply and demand. We all know that. The biggest thing I want you to understand and learn is how to execute when price gets there. If anything, when these catalysts come out in the market, it's awesome because they turn the dial up and the speed of the news creates some volatility in the market. And that's all we need to be aware of. So, again, anything that I've underlined here, such as Wednesday, the deficit comes out, PMI, just take note of the times. That way, if you're in something, you can be prepared for the volatility. But a lot of times, like for me and my methodology, I don't really care that this stuff is going out. I'm always just concentrating on the allocations that I'm putting into my trades. And again, that's what I try and do my best at teaching you all. We had the Fed beige book at 2 o'clock. And again, these are Eastern time. I am on Central time. A lot of people think I'm on Eastern, but I am Central time. Thursday, initial jobless claims, and then moving down here, you could see we have a lot of Fed speakers coming in. So again, just noise in my opinion for the market. Overall trend is still going to take place. Anyways, lots of Fed speakers here on Thursday afternoon. And then we have Friday coming in pretty quiet. Wholesale inventories at 10 o'clock. So this would be about an hour and a half after the market opens. Then we have San Francisco Fed President Mary Daly speaks. And then 3 o'clock, interesting time here. This would be 1 hour before the market close, consumer credit. I thought that this typically comes out in the morning. Maybe I'm wrong, I'm not sure, but typically I think that's in the morning. So just interesting time there. So our neutral strategy, how did it do last week? How did you guys do last week? I see a lot more likes on Twitter. So it must be, people were happy with last week for sure. If you guys had a great week, don't forget to go out there on my Twitter account and just stop by the tweet that says, hey, if you use the neutral strategy, it's free. I send you the information, I send you the levels. If you loved it, if it worked well for you, make sure you get that a like. I really appreciate it. It really goes a long way. Thank you so much. So you can see here that we go long above the neutral. You can see that works out. We hit all targets to the upside. If you're here in the room at Simpler Trading, I would have give you more targets to the upside if you needed them. But always feel free to reach out to me. QQQ, same thing, guys. We broke above the neutral. We hit all the targets, and then we got even more than that. So it was a beautiful week far as that goes. And as a reminder, it was my best week out of the entire year so far. So that was on the future side, in options, equity, whatever. It was just a really good time. So I hope you guys had a good week as well. Over here, we had the new neutral strategy for this upcoming short week. And so right now is the time you'd want to freeze the screen, take down these levels. And if you don't know how to trade the neutral strategy, I have a quick video here on YouTube. It takes like 4 or 5 minutes to watch it to get a better understanding of how I approach that. The only thing that I would tell you here is that I went ahead and I drew zones around the demand zones. These are imbalances that you can see in the market, and those imbalances, the orders took off. And a lot of times, if we do not run into buyers up here, like buyers are not willing to get above those highs, then most likely we will fade sideways to down to get you back to this imbalance to fill more orders for the market to continue up. Now, again, that's from a neutral strategy. That's me looking at the 4 hour, and that's me showing you the imbalance. It does not have to come back this week. It's just something I want you to take note of. Timing is the variable. Let's go ahead and move on to our next picture. This is going to be the SPY quarterly chart, and it only took 1 week for everything to change. Matter of fact, if you came back here, I would have said, hey guys, we're on an inside quarter so far, but we still have 1 month and 3 days left, and anything can change. And as you can see, now we are up 4 quarters in a row. These are continuation candles. They look pretty solid, but who knows? By the end of this short week, you could be right back inside. Far as this week is concerned, I want you guys to know what your resistance is. It's 454 by 463. Your support is 446 by 443. And again, these are key numbers from a quarterly perspective. Okay. So, but if you want the numbers from a weekly perspective, you come over here. Those numbers that are over here are still important. Okay. And I try to put them into the mix here as well. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on. This is the QQQ. And if you were to go back to last week's notes, same thing, guys. This time, going into this week, we're 3 quarters up, but we have 25 days left. Your resistance is 386. Your support is 369 by 358. Okay. Now, overall, obviously, things look really bullish. In my mind, the question is whether or not, do they want to push price over the highs? I mean, do we get over this quarter high? That's what I should say, not this high, but the quarterly high. Can we get above there, right? Right now, there's going to be resistance. As far as support is concerned, we got some Fibonacci's down here. I'll show you some more charts here in a second. Now, this is really important. The dollar. What did the dollar do last week? It was pretty benign, if you ask me. It dropped. The market went up, but you had to be aware on the weekly that the dollar was coming into the 9 EMA cloud. It bounced from there, and when it started to bounce, things started to get a little choppy, right? And then it just kind of went sideways. All right. Now, this week, far as I am concerned, I am very neutral. Again, a short week. I'm not a huge fan of short weeks. It doesn't mean it's not going to be good. It just means I'm probably going to be lighter and just kind of hanging out. Maybe sell some credit for this week. All right, that might definitely be an idea. Selling some iron condors or maybe some put credit spreads or something like that off of the levels that I showed you earlier. Again, overall, I'm feeling neutral about this week. Now, what about the TNX or the 10-year Treasury? We did go inside and down, sideways, just like I wanted from the highs here. We wanted it to cool down. All right, remember this possible capitulation is what I'm saying above 4.6. But again, the market was saved. Notice that the TNX came into the 9 EMA cloud, just like anything else I would show you. We would find support there. My biggest thing going forward into the short week is that I want you to be aware that I'm cautious above 4.3. And as of right now, you don't need to be concerned about that. 4.3 would be basically right above the body of 2 weeks ago. Okay. Moving on, this is your skew. This is very important. Last week I said to look for my overall sentiment. My sentiment was a relief bounce, and that's exactly what we got. Matter of fact, if you rewind and you go back to last week, it was perfect. I said if we were looking at any other chart, I'd be looking for the market to bounce here because we were coming into a trendy edge, and that's exactly what we did. So the skew bounced up and now it's bouncing into resistance. This makes me feel like the overall sentiment going into this week is sideways to down until proven otherwise. When I say down, I don't mean the market's crashing, folks. It just means it might be pulling back into the smaller imbalances that I was talking about. But I also want you to be aware there's a little bit of room here for a nice little relief bounce coming off the holiday weekend. Okay. Moving over here. This is the ES futures. So for my future traders, please listen up. This is the same chart that we've been using week after week here. You can see that we've gone inside and up. And my biggest thing here from a weekly standpoint, okay, we are bullish as long as we are staying above this 4444. And support is still down here at 43.28. Matter of fact, this is your bullish channel right here where these arrows are, the 38.2 and to the 0. As long as there's consolidation here, I am bullish long term. Over here, our next chart, this is going to be the daily. We are red to white to green. We have momentum change. We also have the trendy blue bar on the histogram for the TTM Squeeze Pro. Okay, and just as a reminder, I personally don't use the squeeze portion of this. I use the histogram married up with some great supply and demand. We have new trigger levels. Please go ahead and pause these on your screen. All right, and go ahead and jot those down. Again, you have your resistance, my buy triggers, and my short triggers. And as a reminder, I use the smaller time frame when we get to these levels to determine what I want to do at that level. Moving on, this is the 4-hour, 2-hour time frame that I'm showing you here on the ES futures. Very straightforward. This is where I'd expect buyers to slow down if we get there this week. This is where I would expect you guys to have some problems to get up and over that. Again, it's sideways to down as long as we stay underneath this resistance into potentially this imbalance down here that I just showed you a few minutes ago. And that's going to be 44.56 by 44.27. Your resistance 45.32 by 47. And if we push into this area, just be cautious. Coming over here to the NASDAQ, same thing, guys. We're going to be 23. The 0 to 38.2 is going to be your bullish channel. We did reclaim above the 23.6. Things look awesome. We're above the cloud. And again, that's going to be your short-term support right around in this area where that 9 EMA is. Overall, super bullish for me as long as we're staying in here. Long term, I want to stay on the bull side. I do want you to take caution if we get up here towards that red box. Moving on, this is going to be the daily. Again, red to white to green. These are momentum changes caused by the EMAs. And you can see that not only did the momentum change on the trendy bands themselves, but also down here, we've gone from yellow to blue, which I love the histogram when it turns trendy blue there, or cayenne, as some people would say. This is important. We have new triggers here. Same thing. When we get there, use a smaller time frame histogram to determine whether or not I want to short or anything like that. And then down here, whether or not I want to go long. If you want to know more about that, you're more than welcome to check us out on a trial at Simpler Trading. Just ask for Trendy Trading and I'll teach you all about my methodology and how we do this stuff. Over here is going to be the last time frame for the NASDAQ, which is 2-hour in this particular chart. Same thing, imbalances right down here. It's going to look like that QQQ chart, folks. 15,160 by 15,028. Your resistance, I forgot to put that on there. Let's go ahead and do that together really quick. Let me minimize this. Let me pull up that chart. Do this on the fly really quick. So we're just going to use the high right here, okay? And I'm going to use that trendy edge right there. And let's go ahead and put a box in here. And you can see those numbers, guys. Just again, it's okay if I'm going fast. Just go back and rewind and pause, and you can get these levels. But this is going to be your resistance. And again, if this, then that. So what I'm looking for is if price cannot get over these resistance levels in here, I would expect the market to go sideways to down to search for that imbalance in the market. We would have bounces before we get there. And again, I don't go into great detail about that. I just kind of coach from a day to day, but this is the bigger picture. If we get up and over, again, we could get that push into 15,740 by 15,925. We would take caution in here. Overall, my sentiment, guys, is sideways to down. I say that to be safe. I don't like to sit in here and say, hey, the market's going down for sure. Right now, it's super bullish long term, but like the short term, short week, just have fun. Don't overtrade. Don't overextend yourself. Understand your allocation and have a good time. All right. These charts really work well. And then on top of that, the methodology and making sure that you listen to some good old Mark Douglas and even myself will help you get your mind right and be ready for that next week. Okay. Don't forget to like this video and share with your friends and family. If you're here with us, which many of you are, then that means you trust what we're doing. And I would expect you to pass that on so that other people can learn as well. Thank you so much. Have a great Monday, a great Labor Day, and I'll see you back tomorrow morning. We can't wait to trade with you.